but to be honest with you, I mean, at the core basic of human resources, right? The ideal behind human resources is to assist an organization. And when we say organization, we're really truly talking about whether or not your focus is operations or accounting or development, from a nonprofit perspective. These ideals that we've been talking about throughout the course of our conversation, these additional aspects that get in the way of the person's ability to be able to perform the job function that you want for them to perform, right? So the ideal behind it is to help to remove some of those barriers, right? And I think as we've touched on, there have been very highly in the and I'm going to give this to Lars Schmidt. He calls it traditional HR or where legacy HR, I think, is the other definition that he gives it, where legacy HR has been more administration focused, because again, in the past, that's where it established itself. That's where it has grown out of, if you will.
Out of personnel.
Right. And so that rigidity that we've been talking about, it hasn't allowed the full evolution, if you will. And also those organizations that we've kind of mentioned here, the hacking HR ideal is really a reflection from people who haven't traditionally been necessarily nestled in HR, but they've worked right alongside of HR, and they're looking at HR going, you guys are kind of a little bit behind here. We need you to catch up to be able to help us, because we're seeing some of these adjustments for the future occurring and coming along, advances in technology, which of course bring along with it advances in biology, like we're talking about here. I definitely think that sticks. What you're asking about sticks with the premise. It sticks with the premise of helping to remove whatever that blockage may be, even including, if that blockage is being human, and helping organizations. I mean, that truthfully stays with the premise of being able to kind of do that. From my perspective, in a little bit more near future, and again, this is all based upon, data that I've heard a number of different people talking about.
And just to provide some grace, we know we're in a post-pandemic, so we know most organizations are in survival mode. So we get it. We're just, go ahead.
Yes.
Just calm the HRs out there. Like it's,
I'll also say this, the number of people, the number of HR practitioners that I have reached out to say, hey, look, I'm here, I'm here to be able to help you to achieve that people prominence, whether that's from a talent acquisition perspective, or it's from that talent optimization piece of sitting down and talking with people about hiring strategy, or okay, let's give your managers those tools, or let's talk about employee engagement. Where does that sit for you guys? Regardless of all of that, it's usually the HR people who are coming back to me after I've reached out to them, and they're saying, I'm not so worried about my company right now. I'm worried about me. I'm out there looking. So if you have a position that's open and available, I'd love to have a conversation with you.
How do I get at least, I've been measuring it for the last 2 months now, and I get 6 a week.
Oh,
that's the minimum. I'll get 6 a
week. So that's 6 organizations a week.
People reaching out and saying, in HR capacity, it could be anywhere from a specialist all the way up to, I had a chief, a CHRO who reached out. And I'm like, this is becoming an issue. I'm like, what about the conversation?
It totally stops the conversation.
I'm just not in alignment with my leadership. I was like, wait a minute.
But because
you're gonna go jump ship and go to another place, and it's gonna be
the exact same thing. Yes, that's totally it. It's gonna be the exact same problem. You're gonna have the exact same thing there. If as somebody said to me once, they said, if you don't turn and really clean up your own, stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Clean up your shit.
Yeah. Clean up your own stuff. You're going to find the same problem again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Right. So going down that road, have we enabled, HR practitioners to continue to stay in the nice little warm nook that they've been in?
Have we enabled them?
Have we enabled them? Like from a totally organizational, systematic perspective, right? Because we're sitting here saying, be disruptors, right? But what incentive? I mean, is there
I don't even
incentive?
know if I'm asking people to be disruptors. I'm just asking them to be logical. Like,
well, but
not everyone's meant to be a disruptor, but everyone has the capacity to be logical.
that's, again, there's a truism there. There's truth.
Are we enabling?
By not asking them, is an organization enabling an HR practitioner to continue to be in that space of warmth and comfort? And what I'm saying by warmth and comfort is, I know how to do the administration, and that's what I've been good at.
I've had several colleagues who, they run a tight ship, and I'm impressed with them. I really am. They're an HR of one, and they can truly handle anywhere from 200 to 300 employees.
You got to applaud. Yeah, you got to applaud.
That's badass.
Yeah, that is
badass.
Truthfully,
and they're in compliance. Minimum EOC complaints.
Yeah, legal issues.
So I'm like, they run a tight ship, and they so yes. So at the point where are we? If that part, I wouldn't say so much enabling as it is like, okay, you got in compliance. However, why don't you? My thought would always be, why don't you bring someone in to take over what you've been doing, and you go forth.
And continue to expand.
And continue what you've done and run a tight ship and maybe another, like build it somewhere else. And I think that, you're right. So we do enable them to stay there instead of that leader saying, hey, I love how well you've done this for the last 10 years. Let's see if we can take, just like MAP, smoke a little weed, go into the boardroom. Let's see if we can take our creativity to another. Now, don't go smoke weed. But go,
is it supporting them then? I mean, and I'm just asking from a perspective of
thing?
No. The HR individual who's been in their role for, X number of years.
I think it's allowing the leader it's allowing the leader to be able to say, hey, let's see if we can expand the capacity of our organization, optimize on what you've done, and maybe do something else. At the same time, I think it's up to that HR leader to be able to step outside that box. And we encourage our leaders, HR people, to step outside that box to be able to say, I think I can do more. This is going well. What is next?
Show me you're brave. Show me your badassery. Yeah.
Yeah. Show me you're brave. And I think that is, we don't teach bravery, grit, the agility.
Yeah. Systemically or
it's interesting, though.
From a business school perspective.
We teach it in sales.
Yeah, we do.
But we don't teach it in human resources to deal with people. But yet in sales, what are you dealing with?
Yeah, that's a good point.
People.
And it's a different, that is true.
So why would you not? So I don't know if it's an enabling or just an illogical way that people just look at it in still that rigid way. It's like, why don't you just take the concepts of business and sales and business development, working with people, apply those same concepts into your HR strategies? I never hired a recruiter who was a recruiter.
Yeah, no.
Never.
No.
I hired salespeople, or I hired. Typically I would hire salespeople.
Yeah, because of that understanding.
To be my recruiters.
Yeah, because that's already built in.
And they smashed.
Yeah, because there's a comfort level.
The records when compared to recruiters that have been in the industry for a while.
That's so true.